How to train your brain to think in English. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in this situation? Someone asks you a simple question in English. Maybe they ask, "How was your day?" And your brain does this. First, you think in your native language. Then you translate it into English. Then you check if the grammar is correct. Then you wonder if there is a better word. And by the time you're ready to answer, the conversation has already moved on. If that sounds familiar, don't worry. The problem is not that your English is bad. The problem is that your brain is still using translation as a middle step. Today, I'm going to show you how to start thinking directly in English. And near the end of this video, I'm going to share a simple daily exercise that takes less than 5 minutes, but can completely change how fast you speak English. So make sure you stay until the end. Let's get started. First, I want you to understand something important. Thinking in English is not a talent. It is not something only advanced learners can do. It is a skill. And like every skill, you can train it. Think about riding a bike. The first time you try, you have to think about everything. Balance, pedaling, steering, braking. Everything feels difficult. But after enough practice, your brain stops thinking about every little step. It becomes automatic. English works the same way. Right now, your brain may be translating because that's what it's used to doing. But if you train it correctly, thinking in English can become automatic too. Now here's the mistake many learners make. They try to think about difficult topics immediately. They try to think about politics, business, science, or complex conversations. That's too hard in the beginning. Imagine trying to lift 300 pounds on your first day at the gym. You wouldn't do that. You would start small. The same is true for English. So here's the first technique. Think about what you see right now. Look around your room. Maybe you see a chair, a desk, a window, a phone, a computer. Now describe those things in English inside your head. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need fancy vocabulary. Just think simple thoughts. The chair is black. My phone is on the desk. The window is open. That's it. Simple. Your goal is not to impress anyone. Your goal is to create English thoughts, because every English thought is a repetition for your brain. The more repetitions you get, the easier it becomes. Now, let's move on to technique number 2, and this one is powerful. Narrate your life. This means describing what you are doing throughout the day. For example, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making breakfast. I'm walking to school. I'm waiting for the bus. I'm watching a video. These thoughts do not need to be perfect. The important thing is that your brain is producing English directly. No translation, no stopping, no overthinking. And here's something interesting. Many learners think they need to learn thousands of new words before they can think in English. Actually, the opposite is true. You can think in English using very basic vocabulary. Think about a young child. A child doesn't know complicated words, but they still think. Why? Because thinking uses simple language most of the time. So don't wait until your English is perfect. Start with the English you already know. Now I want to talk about another problem, and this is a big one. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes inside their own heads. Think about that for a second. Nobody can hear your thoughts. Nobody can judge your thoughts. Yet many people stop themselves from thinking in English because they're worried about mistakes. Don't do that. Mistakes are part of learning. Imagine a baby learning to walk. The baby falls down a lot, but nobody says, "Well, I guess walking isn't for you." The baby keeps trying, and eventually walking becomes natural. English is exactly the same. Your brain learns through repetition and correction, not through perfection. Now here's technique number 3. Ask yourself questions in English. This is one of my favorite exercises. Throughout the day, ask yourself simple questions. What am I doing? What do I need to do today? What should I eat later? What movie do I want to watch? Then answer those questions in English. This creates a mini conversation inside your head. And that's important because real communication isn't just speaking, it's responding. By asking and answering questions, you're training both skills at the same time. And later in this video, I'll show you how to turn this into an even more powerful exercise. But first, let's talk about something that most learners completely ignore: listening. If you want to think in English, you need English thoughts. And where do English thoughts come from? From English input. The more English you hear, the more English your brain collects. Think of your brain like a library. If the shelves are empty, there isn't much to use. But if you fill the shelves with English words, phrases, and patterns, your brain has more material to work with. That's why listening is so important. Listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, watch interviews, listen to conversations. The goal isn't to understand every single word. The goal is to expose your brain to natural English. Over time, your brain starts noticing patterns, and eventually, those patterns become your own thoughts. Now here's a quick challenge. For the next 10 seconds, don't translate this sentence. Just listen. Tomorrow, I want to wake up early, go for a walk, grab a coffee, and spend some time learning something new. Did you understand that? Good. Notice what happened. You probably understood the meaning without translating every single word. That's exactly what we want. The more you practice understanding English directly, the easier it becomes to think directly in English. Now let's talk about something that slows people down: mental translation. This is when your brain tries to convert every sentence from one language into another. Translation is useful when you're learning, but eventually it becomes a bottleneck. Imagine trying to drive while stopping at every single traffic light, even when the light is green. You would move very slowly. Translation does the same thing. It slows communication. So instead of translating words, try connecting English words directly to images and ideas. For example, when you hear the word apple, don't think of the word in your language. Picture an apple. When you hear the word dog, picture a dog. When you hear the word house, picture a house. This trains your brain to connect English directly to meaning, and that's exactly what fluent speakers do. Now remember earlier when I said I would give you a simple exercise that can change your speaking speed? Here it is. Every night before bed, spend 5 minutes talking to yourself in English. That's it. 5 minutes. Talk about your day. What happened? What went well? What was difficult? What are your plans for tomorrow? Don't read from a script. Don't memorize anything. Just speak. If you don't know a word, keep going. Use easier words. The goal is flow, not perfection. This exercise is incredibly powerful because it forces your brain to create English in real time. And real-time thinking is exactly what happens during conversations. If you do this every day for a month, you will notice a difference. Your thoughts will come faster, your speaking will feel smoother, and you'll spend less time translating. Now, before we finish, I want to leave you with one final idea. Stop asking yourself, when will I be fluent? Instead, ask, did I use English today? Because fluency is not built in one giant moment. It is built through daily actions. One English thought, one English sentence, one English conversation, day after day, week after week, month after month. And eventually, something amazing happens. You stop translating and overthinking. You start living part of your life in English. That's the goal. Not perfect English, not flawless grammar, not knowing every word. The goal is communication. The goal is thinking directly in English. And the good news is that you can start right now. So here's your challenge. After this video ends, spend the next 5 minutes thinking only in English. Describe your room. Describe your day. Ask yourself questions and answer them. And see how it feels. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. If you enjoyed this lesson and want more English listening practice, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm Will, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep learning, keep listening, and keep thinking in English. See you next time.